Okay, so we shall start in that case. I hope you can hear me well. And first of all, I would like to welcome you to the session and thank you for joining us today. My name is Anna Rolinska and I'm an English tutor at the University of Glasgow. And together with my colleague Bill Guariento, who unfortunately is not here today because he's on holiday, we want to propose a project, and we hope that you will express your interest in participating in this project. So today I'm going to tell you more about the project so that you know what the project is about, and based on the information you can make a decision whether you want to join us or not. So I will be speaking for about 15 minutes perhaps, and then you will have an opportunity to ask questions about anything related to the project. Okay? So the project is related to science, engineering and technology, and it's the first time we're going to collaborate with your university, with the Islamic University of Gaza, and it's the project about a collaboration between our students and you. Okay? Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell you a little bit about the background, about our students and what it looks like from their perspective. So on the slide in front of you, you can see two acronyms, so two abbreviations. SET stands for Science, Engineering and Technology, and YIPS is the name of a course our students take. Okay, YRPS stands for Year-Round Pre-Sessional, and it's a course for international students who would like to study, who'd like to do a postgraduate degree, so either master's and some of them a PhD at the British University, at the University of Glasgow. And in order to be prepared for the study, they often decide to do an English and academic skills preparation course. And they have several options here. So some of them join us for the whole year, and that's the so-called year-round pre-sessional course. And some of them join us for a shorter period of time, for example, just for the summer pre-sessional course, which is very intensive and which focuses on academic skills. And in summer, we've got we've got this intensive course, and it consists of two parts. We've got Block B, which is happening right now in July, and then we've got Block C, which starts in August, so next Monday, and it lasts 5 weeks. And that Block C is subject specific. So the students are still learning about study skills, and they still learn the language, but it's all related to a particular discipline they are going to study later at the university. And the SET, so the Science, Engineering and Technology strand, is one of the subject-specific courses we offer. Okay, there are some others as well. For example, accounting and finance, biomedical sciences, social sciences, etc. And the students do this course in order to, as I said, to be prepared for the postgraduate degree, in order to practice their language so that they are ready for the study. And they aim for the I'm sure you are familiar with the IELTS test, which is an international test, and they aim for a 6.5 in all their 4 skills, so in speaking and listening and reading and in writing. And 6.5 is an equivalent of a kind of upper intermediate, low advanced level of English. Okay, so this is the background. Okay, so a little bit more about our students. At the moment, I'm going to refer to the group of students we had last year, okay? And then I can tell you a little bit more about the students this year. So last summer, we had 45 students who did the science, engineering, technology part of the summer course, and 80% of them were wanted later to progress on a postgraduate course at the master's level. Okay, in terms of the different disciplines, engineering-related disciplines, we had quite a few students who were who were planning to do electrical engineering, civil engineering, software engineering, mechanical engineering, engineering with management. So these were the kind of biggest groups, but we also had a few students who were then going to study statistics, geology, biomedical engineering, and so on. Okay, and at the moment, we've got a kind of a provisional list of students, and they are more or less the interests or the disciplines they are going to study are the same. Okay, in terms of nationalities, as I said, these are international students, so they are coming from all over the world to the UK to study at the University of Glasgow. Again, I'll be referring to the last year, but it's very similar to this year's group. So we had quite a good selection of various language and language groups. So we had students from Thailand, from Indonesia, from Taiwan, and from Greece. But the majority of the students were Chinese speakers and Arabic speakers. And also, when I was talking about the previous slides, I said that 80% of the students do the postgraduate degree. It's 80% because we always have a group from Brazil, and this is because of the cooperation of the links between our university and one of the Brazilian universities. And so last year, 20% of our students were from Brazil, and they are doing the undergraduate course, not postgraduate course. Okay. Okay, so you know a little bit about the background, you know a little bit about the students. So now I would like to tell you about what they actually do during the course. So the course lasts 5 weeks, and the first 4 weeks, this is when the student have to, they work on an extended essay. So it's a longer piece of writing, so 1,500 words, and the essay follows a specific structure. The structure is the so-called SPRE structure, and this abbreviation stands for situation, problem, responses, and evaluation. So they have to look for some kind of a problem which is related to their discipline, and then do some research, find some solutions, and evaluate the solutions, suggesting which of the solutions would be the most effective. So this is the first 4 weeks. Then they submit their essay, and also based on the essay, they have to give a short presentation related to the problems and solutions and evaluation covered by the essay. And this happens in week 5. Okay? So far, students have been allowed to choose a topic they wanted. So whatever was interesting to them, whatever was related to their interest, to their discipline. And so far, they have always worked individually. So each of them has been responsible for their own research and reading and writing process. And also at the end, each of them gave the presentation individually. Okay? This year, we would like to suggest some changes. And there are different reasons why we would like to introduce some innovations, but I think that the most important one is we would like our students to engage with real-world engineering problems, with something that is authentic, something that is real and actually happens somewhere in the world. And we would also like them to work more collaboratively, because team working skills are very important on at the university as well as in the workplace later. And we would also like to make the final presentation more interactive and cross-border, and this is where you come in, and with your participation in the project, this could be all this could happen. So now it all depends on your willingness to join us. Okay, so let me explain in a little bit more detail how we envisage the whole project. And what I've got on the slides now is a kind of a time scale, and I will talk you through the time scale month by month, week by week. So the project kind of officially, let's say, started at the end of June. We sent a list of students, a provisional list of students and the fields to your university, and your university identified some students in similar fields. Okay, and that has already happened, partially at least. So 2 weeks ago, I think, we had the first kind of an introductory session for the students from your university. Unfortunately, we didn't find enough students. That's why we looked for some more, and that's why we're having this session today with you. Okay, so at the end of July, so this is, now, what's going to happen is the staff from the English for Academic Studies staff, so myself and Bill, we are going to give the students at the Islamic University of Gaza some online input on how to give constructive criticism, constructive feedback. Okay, so these instructions will be given to you in the next day or two, and this is to help you. To help you practice English and practice the skills that are needed for this project to succeed. Okay, and we are also hoping that this week we will finalize the list of the students from the Islamic University of Gaza who are going to participate in the project. And also, another task for you would be to start thinking about the problems you can give to our students to research. I'll explain that in a little bit more detail in a second. Okay, so next week, it's week 1 of the Block C course, which I talked about earlier. So this is when we are going to see our students for the first time, and this is when they are going to be introduced to the project, and also to the essay and to the whole and to the project, the collaboration project with the collaboration with you. And this is when we would like them to see the different problems for the first time, and we imagine that they would be working in groups of 3, and each group would choose a problem, one of the problems suggested by you, and this way they would form a group with you. So as a result, we would have groups of 5, 3 students from Glasgow and 2 students from Gaza. Okay, and the students from Gaza, the problem, the scenario let me remind you, engineering related scenario. That would be your suggestion, and our students' task would be to research that in order to provide some solutions. Okay, so the first meeting of the students from the University of Glasgow and you would be via Skype, and that would be next week. You would have to agree among yourselves when to meet on Skype to have the conversation about the scenario, but it would have to happen next week. Okay. Also, next week, we would expect the task on giving constructive criticism to be submitted so that we can give you some feedback on this. So that would be that's what we have planned for the next week 1. Okay, in the second week there is not much for you to do, so you can have a little rest. Our students will be working hard and they will be researching the scenario given by you, and will be looking for the solutions and try to make sense of what's best for that particular scenario. The staff, so myself and Bill, will be working on giving you feedback on the task. Okay, then in week 3 there would be another kind of a contact point or meeting between you and our students. This can happen via Skype, or if you prefer, for example, emailing each other, that would be fine as well. Okay. What would happen would be that our students would present informally, very informally. They would present the solutions to you, and you would provide an evaluation of these responses. Okay, so if you decide to contact via Skype, the evaluation would be oral. If, let's say, you'd rather contact by email, then the evaluation would be written. But it's important that it's collaborative. And this particular meeting would give you the opportunity to practice your skills in giving, skills in critical thinking and giving critical constructive feedback. Okay, in week 4, similarly to week 2, again, you can have a little rest, and our students, based on the feedback provided by you, would be working hard to on the responses, on the solutions, and on the evaluation, and they will be doing further research, and they will be trying to kind of wrap up the whole research and get ready for the presentation, which will happen in week 5. So in week 5, it's on Monday. Our students will hand in their essays, and they will also present, give the presentations, and we would very much like you to be present during the presentation so that you can provide further feedback. And we have arranged for a video conference so that even though there are many miles between us, so we are far away from each other, but due to the technology, we can be maybe not in the same place, but we can, at the same time, we can meet virtually, and you can listen and watch the presentations given by the students in Glasgow, and also ask questions and provide some further feedback. Okay, 2 other things that would happen in the last week of the course. So just the end of August, the very beginning of September. So we will obviously give feedback on those essays handed in by our students. We would like you to prepare some short video clips on elements of the day-to-day life in Gaza, so that these can later be presented to our students via YouTube, for example, or shared in some other way via Dropbox or Google Drive, so that our students can actually see what it's like to be to live in Gaza. Okay, so as I said, both groups of students, so students from Glasgow and students from Gaza, you can remain in touch via with each other throughout the duration of the project, and so that you can support each other during the project, and you can do that via social media and other technologies. So I mentioned Skype earlier, but we also have a Facebook group which you can use to communicate with each other, set goals for the next phase of the project, ask and answer questions. And we are also using the Facebook group to make announcements, for example, to remind of deadlines, to say what happens next, etc. So that Facebook group already exists. And the students from Gaza who participated in the previous session, they have already joined the Facebook group, and we are already communicating. Obviously, the students from Glasgow are not there yet because the course hasn't started yet. So at the moment, it's mostly communication between the students from Gaza and ourselves, so myself and Bill. Okay, so this is an image showing the Facebook group. Okay, and there's a link there, so if you decide to join the project, we hope, we expect you to join the group as well, so that you can remain in touch with us and in contact. Okay, we also have a website, and you've got the link on the slide. The website gives information about the project. It gives information about technologies we are using for the project. It provides some information about the project team, about both universities. We are hoping to add information about you, about students, because the project couldn't happen without you. So you are an important part of the team, of the project team. We also have a project blog which we are trying to keep up to date, and so that we know, everybody knows what's happening. Okay, so in terms of benefits, so what is it that you can take away from this project? You will have a lot of opportunity to practice your language. Even this session gives you this opportunity, but then throughout the 5 weeks you will be in touch with the students from the University of Glasgow. They're international students, please remember, and you can, by communicating and by talking to them about the project, you can practice your language. You will be obviously practicing team working skills, because you will be working in small teams in Gaza, but also you will be working in teams with students from the University of Glasgow, so across borders. As I said, you will be provided with some practice in the skills in giving constructive criticism, constructive feedback. It's a sequence of tasks that introduce you to the idea of constructive feedback, and there are things you have to research, and then you have to apply that knowledge, and you will be actually given a piece of writing to give feedback on. And then, of course, you will be given feedback by us on your feedback skills, if that makes sense. I think this project gives a great opportunity to practice problem-solving skills, and what I mean by problem-solving here, it's a variety of problems to solve, from maybe simple problems, even like to use some software, or how to how to maybe phrase something, to maybe bigger problems, communicating across borders, and trying to negotiate with people from different countries how to go about doing a task. So there's quite a lot of problem solving involved in that. Because it's a telecollaboration, so collaboration by means of technologies, I think you will get good practice in various digital literacies and digital skills. Because it's an intercultural project, so working with people from different countries, cultural backgrounds, people speaking different languages, it's good training in cultural awareness. You will also get certificates of participation at the end of the project, which will demonstrate that you have participated in the project, and also we hope that you will agree for us to include your name on the website, so that again there is evidence that you have taken part in such a project. Okay. When it comes to the benefits for our students, they are very similar. Okay, so again, they will get practice in language, in teamwork, developing team working skills and problem-solving skills and digital literacies and cultural awareness. But one benefit, kind of extra benefit for them, would be increasing the knowledge of real-world issues, and that won't be possible, that won't happen without your input and without your collaboration, okay? Because you are bringing in that element of authenticity into the project. Okay, so just to wrap up, I would like to maybe emphasize. So there are many benefits for both groups of students. So the students in Gaza and the students in Glasgow. But I think the two kind of most important aims and goals of the project is we would like to. We, meaning the staff, but also for the students, we would like us to gain experience of online working together, online collaboration. We are hoping that this little project is only the beginning, and there will be more collaboration opportunities in the future. We would really like to get involved in closer closer collaboration with the Islamic University of Gaza, and also we would like to raise awareness among our students about the situation in Palestine. Okay, because we think this is important. Okay, and I believe that's the final slide. So if there is anything, any questions you would like to ask, or anything that is not clear, or anything that maybe hasn't been said, but you think that you need this information, please ask your questions now. You can either use the text chat to ask questions, or if you're brave, use your microphone. I can see that there's some typing. Okay, so no questions from Iman. Okay, thank you, Iman. Okay, so a comment from Mahmoud. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, it's not my intention. Yes, we think that it would be a great experience for both universities as well, and we really hope the project will work and be beneficial for both the students and for ourselves as well. Any other questions? Anything that is not clear? Please don't be afraid. It's important that you have a good understanding of the project, so that you can make a an informed decision whether you want to commit yourself to the project or not. Okay, so a question from Amani. Okay, it's a question about the problems that you are supposed to present. This is a very good question. The problem should be, how to explain that? Well, real life problems, but related to engineering, science, and technology, so that our students can do when they do the research, it would be the research within the discipline. Okay, so what we are thinking of is that the students in Gaza, you would form groups of 2, as I said. So there would be 2 of you working with each other, and initially we would suggest that you think of 2 or 3 scenarios, just to have a bigger selection, and so that our students can make a choice. And as I said, we don't want to be too prescriptive, so we don't want to tell you that the problems have to be this or that. So we want to leave it a little bit open-ended, but they should be related to the disciplines. So anything to do with science, anything to do with technology, anything to do with engineering, the problem or it might be some different problem, but it has to be somehow solved in kind of ways. Engineering ways, if I can say it so. Okay, hopefully it's clear. Does that answer your question? Yeah. I'm sure there are lots of problems, lots of scenarios, right? That you can present to our students. Any other questions? I can see that some people are typing or start to type. Please don't be, as I said, don't be afraid. Ask questions. All questions are valid and important, so don't be afraid. Can we suggest scientific problems in other fields rather than geology? Yes, I mean geology is not the only field, and as I showed you, among our students, there might be students who actually study or are going to study geology, but it's not the majority. The majority of students do or are going to do engineering. So different kinds of engineering, I should say. Okay. So yes, these might be other problems. They don't have to be related to geology. Okay, as long as it is something to do with engineering, technology, and yeah, and science in general. Okay. There was in the previous session there was a question about how much time you would be expected to spend on this project, because that might not be very clear from the time scales I presented. So there are weeks which are a little bit more intensive, and they demand a little bit more kind of online presence and work from you, and there are other weeks that are quieter. So this week and the next week would probably be the kind of a most intensive, because you would start working on the constructive feedback task. This is just for you to help you develop skills in giving constructive criticism. So that would start tomorrow or on Wednesday at the latest. And as I said, there's a series of tasks. They are not very maybe difficult, but they do require that you spend some time doing them. You will be working in teams though, so that you can help each other. And you will kind of spend a week, or you will have a week to complete all the tasks. But that doesn't mean that you will be working for 8 hours every day. It just may be an hour here and an hour there. Okay, depending on how you organize yourselves. And then next week, and this week, you would also have to think about those scenarios. And then next week, you would submit the constructive feedback task so that we can give you some feedback. And you would also get in touch with our students to discuss the scenario. And then you've got a week off. And then the following week you would maybe meet with our students again. Those meetings, online meetings, it would be up to you when you decide to have them, and I don't imagine they would last more than an hour. Okay. And then the only time that is kind of fixed is the final presentations, which will happen in week 5. So it's at the very end of August, and that's the only time that is fixed, and we can't really move that around. And we hope that you will be able to join us via video conference link. Okay. So it's a project spread over 5 weeks, with kind of weeks that require more intense work than others, but as I said, it's spread over and there's quite a lot of flexibility, so you can decide with your group members when to meet and when to do certain tasks. Okay. Okay, so there's a comment from Mahmoud. We didn't decide time. Shall we start our sessions or a schedule for the sessions? You mean the sessions or the meetings with the students from the University of Glasgow? Which sessions do you mean here, Mahmoud? So which sessions do you have in mind? All right, okay. You mean the sessions or the classes related to your studies? Okay, well, yes, that would be the question for Abir and for the staff at the Islamic University of Gaza. Okay, from our end, I mean, you don't have to. There is lots of flexibility, and you can connect. I mean, either from the university or from home if that's possible. But yeah, it will be, as I said, it is quite flexible when you are online. Okay. I will just post the link to the website so that if you want to think about it more and if you want to read a little bit more about the project, you can visit the website and have a look around. If you have any questions, then you can either ask them on the website, or if you decide to join the project, then we would like you to join the Facebook group, and you can use the Facebook group to ask questions as well. Okay, I'm monitoring the Facebook group quite closely in the sense that if there is a question, I reply quite quickly. Okay, so you can rely on getting the answer well, as soon as possible. And also, if there are any other concerns, I'm sure you can contact either Abir or Al Said, and they will pass the query, the question on to us as well, and we would be happy to answer that. This session has been recorded, and the recording will be made available on the website as soon as it's ready. It takes some time to process the recording and to make it and then to upload it to some either to YouTube or to other platform. Okay, it seems that there are no other questions, so I don't want to keep you. But thank you so much for joining us today and for making time to come to the session and to listen to me. Hopefully, it was all clear and it looks interesting enough for you to either to join us straight away or maybe to read a little bit more about the project on the website and then make a decision to join us. We would welcome. I mean, we would like you. Of course, we would like you to join because, as one of you said, we think it's a wonderful opportunity for you and for our students to develop a set of different skills. And also for us, for the staff, it's also an interesting, a very promising experience of working across the borders, and hopefully that collaboration will be continued in the future. So thank you again, and I hope to see you on the Facebook. And if you have any questions, please either use the website or the Facebook group to contact us. Okay? Thank you. Goodbye, Abir. Thank you so much for organizing this.